incredible. Marsha Hunt, how are you?
And we both worked together.
I know.
We did twice.
Yes, twice.
First when you were 6, and then probably all of 7.
And Marsha doesn't look any different today than when we worked together.
Of course not.
Look at this lady and look at this beautiful book that she has put out.
You have to come very close to these. I am showing Margaret some dance steps.
And what film was this?
This one was, I believe, 10th Avenue Angel. No, Lost Angel.
Lost Angel.
This was from Lost Angel.
You were what?
Yes.
How old were you there, Margaret?
About 6.
6 years
Yes.
old. Do you remember those days?
Oh, I remember.
Really?
Yes, very much. And I was so thrilled because Marsha presented me with this beautiful, beautiful book.
Which is
and
Marsha
you
Hunt's
see,
beautiful
she looks the same as she does
exactly
on this
the same
same
book.
beautiful
It's
figure.
called The Way We Wore. And these are the
Yes.
collectors from MGM Studios.
Not only, my first few years were at Paramount, and the first half of the book is mostly Paramount fashions. They're the things I wore in films, and Edith Head and Travis Banton and Ori Kelly and Irene. The only things I did that Adrian designed were hoop skirts from Pride and Prejudice, and they're not in here because this book is about contemporary clothes,
Right.
what were contemporary in the 30s and 40s.
But you always dressed very ladylike, Marsha. They always made you dress very ladylike.
Well, not always. I played one Brooklyn showgirl.
What was
One.
that one?
Oh, that was with Robert Young and Lorraine Day, and it was called The Trial of Mary Dugan. And I was a showgirl with a Brooklyn accent. I had a wonderful time playing that one.
But Marsha's still so lovely and such a fashion plate today, too.
No.
So she was always a fashion.
Margaret O'Brien, MGM was growing up with all these great stars like Judy Garland. Look at this. Look at me and Judy. You and Judy Garland.
I've got to see that
Look
picture.
at that. Look at that. Isn't that brilliant? Everybody loved Margaret O'Brien.
You know, I think
Thank
that
you.
Meet Me in St. Louis is the finest film ever made that was a story with music. It was not a musical.
Story.
No dancing girls, but it was a
Right.
story
It is
with
a
music.
story with music and wonderful music that came out and was written from that
Martin
film.
and Blaine, we had the trolley song, The Boy
Yes.
Next Door, and this perennial Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
That's right.
And they have
It's
remained
gone
dear
on and
friends
remained,
half a century.
Also classic songs, too,
Yes,
from that
and I
movie.
love the dance sequence with you and Judy Garland dancing. That wonderful scene. That was a wonderful.
Yes, well, that was fun. I always loved to dance because my mother was a dancer, of course.
That's right.
So, and my aunt was a dancer. She was the Spanish dancer with Cougar's orchestra, and my
didn't
mother
know
was the
that.
flamenco dancer with the Cancinos, because my mother was Spanish, and they were very famous flamenco dancers.
I didn't
So
know
I
that.
got in pictures by accident.
But I can bring you up to date because I don't know, whatever year it was, I was in playing the original Mary Astor role of the mother in Meet Me in St. Louis when
That's
they
right.
brought it from the screen to the stage. And we were in Birmingham, Alabama,
I went to
where
see
Hugh Martin grew up, who wrote that score with Ralph Blaine. And Margaret and her husband came to the opening, and we had a great grand party at which you danced such a storm on the dance floor.
I did.
Everybody cleared the floor,
Oh, my
and
goodness.
I had never seen Margaret dance except in movies. You were gorgeous to behold.
Oh, thank
And
you.
I had a whole new impression of you. And then, you know, each of us was on a cruise ship
Right.
commemorating the 50th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. And you were on the
Very interesting.
Constitution, and I
That's
was on the
right.
Independence.
You were on the
And we did all the
Independence.
Hawaiian Islands and met on shore when the cruise was over. But it was started, Skip, with a commemorative program at Pearl Harbor. Do you remember that?
Oh, I remember. It was
And
really
here-
impressive.
Oh, the president spoke,
It's
and all
back.
kinds of generals.
You two ladies have such memories of Hollywood.
We're
of-
blessed with very
and
rich
wonderful
memories.
people that you have met in your travels
Oh, Lord,
because
yeah.
you're a celebrity.
And you meet, people who bring, buy things like this gentleman that I met today that brought these pictures that were done of me to look like the old-fashioned
Oh,
pictures
and they're
from
George
from
Cukor?
George Cukor's, the great directors, my favorite directors.
Mine too. I think it's great.
Collection, and this gentleman had these, and these were done for the movie to look like they were done in the 18th century. So
They're
I
charming.
hadn't seen them in a long time, so
What
it was
are
kind
the
of a
pictures?
thrill.
I haven't seen them. I have to-
These are like old postcards. They were done like old postcards.
Yes, isn't that
So-
lovely? Look at that. Sweet.
I asked him if he'd part with it, but he said he wouldn't. So
These are on loan.
no, it goes back to his house tonight.
Margaret, I wanted to ask you this all the time. Judy Garland. Oh, one of my favorites. One of the greatest
Everyone's. Everyone's.
One of the greatest entertainer ever. There will never be another entertainer. These kids today
She was
don't have a clue. But she had stardom. She had finesse. She had everything. Tell me, working with this lady.
She was wonderful to work with. She really was. And very, very nice. And that was a very happy time for Judy Garland because she was married, just married Vincent Minnelli, and she was very happy during that movie. And she really seemed like my big sister. And Judy was always lovely, even in later years. She would always stop and say hello if she saw you at a party or saw you somewhere. So I was very fond of her. She was a very nice person.
MGM schooling. Fun going to school at MGM?
Well, I mainly had a private tutor because I was working so much, but I'd go into the little red schoolhouse on the lot
Did you?
for recess. But of course, at the MGM school, everybody was all different ages. So, you know, Elizabeth might be in the 11th grade, I might be in the 2nd grade, or, you know, it wasn't that far apart,
Still
but...
friends with Liz? Do you still call her? And she
Oh, I see her every once, and she was also a very nice person. And Janet Leigh, I just did a show with Janet.
Oh, did you?
And then, of course, June and I are on a lot of the cruise ships too, doing some lectures.
Oh, Junie
and
loves to
Junie is
cruise.
lovely.
When I never know when she's docked. I think that she's always at sea somewhere. And her husband is a great climber.
Yes.
He goes, if there's a mountain, he's going up it. And wherever, we did a cruise, Junie and Esther Williams and I, to the inland waterway to Alaska. And it was my first cruise. It was breathtakingly beautiful. And we had the best reunion, the three of us, from the MGM days. It was delightful.
I want to ask you a question, Marsha Hunt. You help a lot of people. You're helping the homeless here in the valley. The homeless, we have big problems with the homeless.
We do
You
indeed.
are doing a lot for it. Tell me about the organization.
Well, we can't begin to end the problem, but it feels good to be working on it as best we can. I started something called the Valley Mayor's Fund for the Homeless. See, every community has an honorary mayor in the valley, and there are about 23 or 4 communities in the valley. I'm the honorary mayor of Sherman Oaks. So under that title, a bunch of us got together, and we helped start about 3 facilities of different kinds for the homeless, and then we raised money to keep them going. And we provide blankets in the winter so that those who don't have a shelter can at least keep warm outdoors. And we provide services and counseling.
And how do they contact your office? Would you give us-
Well, the police department and a lot of, I think the libraries all have what we call the homeless help card. And we have put out a little, it's small enough to fit in their pockets or in their wallets if they still have wallets, it's a directory of where to go to find what? Food, counseling, clothing, job opportunities, whatever, and if there is any shelter to be had.
Marsha Hunt, your book, The Way We Wore, it's out right now. It's doing extremely
It's
well.
in its third printing,
Third
Skip.
printing.
Yeah.
This cover is just elegant. Look at this. It's
Thank you.
a lovely book.
Thank you.
You are such, both of you are lovely, elegant ladies.
Thank you.
It's lovely to visit with you.
Taking you away from
And it's fun meeting the moviegoers who collect things, and they will stand at your table and tell you every movie you ever made.
You know something? We're all waiting for you right now.
All right, and it's good to see you,
Thank you very
Skippy.
much.
And see you soon again. Bye-bye.
Hello, testing. Here I am with Jeannie Carmen, one of the sexiest ladies here at the Hollywood show. Whoa.
And
How are you, my love?
I'm having a blast. I found all kinds of little magazines that I did back in the 50s and things I hadn't even seen.
I want you to glance down here at this table. Look at these never seen such sex pot in my life since Marilyn Monroe. And
I've
matter
got
of fact,
thousands
talking
of
about
these.
Marilyn Monroe, you and Marilyn were very good friends.
We were best friends. I was probably the only girlfriend she had.
Right.
And we did a lot of funny little things.
Like what? Share an experience with you and Marilyn.
Oh, like going and sneaking into people's pools and naked while they were away from home.
And putting mustaches on.
And
Tell me about the mustache.
and going to the movies in our mink coats with nothing underneath. And,
Oh, what theater was that?
and going.
I want to know the
It was in
theater.
Hollywood.
Oh, really?
And going to the nude beach with Bobby Kennedy and
Are
all
you really
that.
sitting there telling me you had nothing on underneath that mink coat?
Nothing.
Really? You're
Nothing.
a lady of my heart.
But we did have Bobby socks on.
Oh, okay.
And we even cooked. We cooked and.
What's new and
did all the-
exciting right now in Jeannie Carmen's life?
Well, I still have a book that should be published one of these days. I haven't got it published yet. The one my son wrote, and it's on
Your son is
Brandon James.
Brandon James, right?
And it's about Marilyn Monroe and other celebrities I've played with. And Brandon wrote, there he stands right there. He wrote a screenplay on my life, just a
What is it
little
called?
small
What
part.
is it called?
That is called Three on the Road, and it's about my trick shot golfing. I was
That's right. I forgot. Jeannie Carmen is a wonderful golfer, professional. Matter
I
of
hit a
fact,
ball
she.
off your face?
Yeah, you certainly can, darling. Those two, you'll never drown anyway, dear. I must tell you, Jeannie Carmen, you and Dean Martin. Edie Williams is claiming about Dean Martin, but really, you and Dean Martin were very good friends.
We-
Frank Sinatra too.
Well, Frank Sinatra and I had a little bit different deal than
Oh, really?
Dean and I, yeah. Dean and I were just friends.
Just friends.
Frank and I were a little bit more than that.
Really? You could sit there and tell me that you and Frank
Yes.
separate rooms or twin beds?
No separate rooms and no twin beds.
You're wonderful. You're having a good time here today?
Yes, I am.
Good.
I'm
Nice.
glad you came.
Tell me about why is such a cult following you are? Tell me, why do you think?
Well, because all the movies I made were so bloody bad that they all turned into cult
No,
movies.
these monster movies are great. You did a lot of good monster movies.
Well, I did Monster, I did Western, I
Right.
did Gangster, I did The Three Stooges.
Favorite
I've
movie.
done it all.
Favorite movie?
They were all my favorite.
Were they really?
I had fun with all of them. Although the one I did with Lex Barker was probably my favorite, only because Lex was my favorite.
Was he a hot guy? Huh?
Woo!
Jeannie
Was he
Carmen,
ever?
It's getting hot here right now, just talking to you. Talk to you later, darling.
Bye.
Here she is, Fran Jeffries, one of the great
Skippy
singers,
Lowe.
one of the great singers in America. Matter of fact, your daughter has a club in town.
Yes, well, she
Tell
has
me.
a wonderful restaurant called
That's it.
Cicada Restaurant,
Right.
Italian, and we do jazz every Thursday, or when Fran comes in, it's Thursday or Friday or
Right,
Saturday
right.
with my trio, and it's fantastic.
For people who don't know who Fran Jeffries is, I must tell you, youngies, this lady is a great singer. And not only a great singer, she was married to one of the great singers, Dick Haymes.
I was a fan, Dick
Dick
Haymes.
Haymes.
Yes, a great fan.
Great
and
fan.
I'm such a fan of
How
yours.
are you, my
I'm
darling?
just wonderful.
You look
so good
absolutely
to see.
great. So
I came to
are
see
you
all
s-
my friends here today.
Yes, I see Mr. Blackwell's here.
Mr. Blackwell, I haven't seen in so
I know.
long.
Have you read
Yeah.
his book?
I have, and I didn't
Rags
expect
to
to see him
Bitches?
today.
I love
Oh,
that title, don't you?
I love it. I love it.
If anyone can use that title, it's him.
Oh, he's
Fran
got the
Jeffries,
coin,
are
too.
you singing at the club?
I won't be singing there till about next month.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm going on to Seal Beach,
Uh-huh.
where there's Leisure World. I'm going to be working there probably the 27th of next month for 3 days.
Good.
It's a lovely place to sing with my trio. Then I'll be back at Cicada.
Good.
And I'll
That's a
send you
great
another
restaurant.
invitation.
I love it.
Thank you. Good
Fran,
to see
nice
you.
seeing you, Fred.
Bye-bye.
Nice seeing you. Bye.
Fran,
Fran.
gosh, where are you going to be?
I'll be at Cicada.
Hello. Rags to Bitches. Mr. Blackwell, the book. Come on, tell me about the Rags. That's
Rags to Bitches.
That's it.
A wonderful story about Hollywood,
it. Right.
about Brooklyn, about life. It really is. It is not the bitchy book
Right.
you would imagine. It's a wonderful story of survival. It's a wonderful story about Hollywood.
Right.
It's a wonderful story about Broadway. And it's a better story about having faith
And
in yourself.
it happens to be a very honest book. Was it
Yes.
difficult for you to write this book? to express yourself, to be honest as you are in this book?
No,
It wasn't?
it would have been difficult for me to lie.
Ah,
Anybody
So, Mr.
who doesn't want to hear it
right.
can close it up. They don't have to read it, because what I've said in this book is what is happening to literally thousands of young men and young women in the world, and they think they're alone. They think nobody cares, but there is someone who cares. And the minute they know they're not the only one, then they're going to feel better about themselves.
Right.
Yes, it was a tough book to write, but I'm proud of it. I've been bashed for it. I have been stepped on for it, but I'm proud of it. And I'm proud of every word I said. I wouldn't take one word back. And those people who really are honest are going to read this book, Skippy, and say, thank you.
This is the sex edition right now. This is going
Third.
The third. It's doing so well.
Third print.
You wrote another book called The Worst of the 30 Years of Fashions.
Well,
Tell me about that. I love that.
everyone expects this to be what it is. A very outspoken opinion of what Hollywood has done fashion-wise for 30 years.
Why is Mr. Blackwell so outspoken? Why? I know. Tell me why, Mr.
Because I'm not afraid.
Blackwell. You're not
I
afraid?
believe in what I believe.
Right.
And
Have you lost a lot of friends for
None.
being that way? No, right?
No.
To being honest.
No,
I agree.
no, I don't think so.
Uh-huh.
No, I shouldn't say that. I lost acquaintances, people I knew. I did not lose any friends.
Right.
Big difference. And as far as they're concerned, see you later. It was okay by me. Really.
Mr. Blackwell, you grew up in Hollywood. Actually, you came out here.
This
Butch. What is this?
set,
Is what?
little tough guys,
That's right.
dead end kids.
Dead end kids. Look,
It all started with this.
right.
And that was the beginning. 1937.
37.
Can you believe
Wow.
this?
Look at that.
60 years ago.
I'm looking at you right now. You look wonderful. What's your secret? What is your secret? Look at you.
Good plastic surgery.
See, there's another honest thing. That is, I like to do a shot of that, of your fashion thing. Mrs.
Barbara Sinatra,
Barbara Sinatra,
Jane
Mansfield, and you.
is me.
That's
And
right.
it's a wonderful.
Self-portrait.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
The beginning of Dead End.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Well, Mr. Blackwell,
Stevie.
I wish you a lot of luck on Rags to Bitches, okay?
Yeah, you're
That's
terrific. Wonderful guy.
God bless you.
Bye.
Thank you. And thank you for the T-shirt. Look at the T-shirt. If you need a T-shirt, Mr. Blackwell, come down here. La la. I love it. Thank you, Mr. Blackwell. God bless you. I'm sitting with Yvette Vickers, one of my favorite ladies from the horror movies of all horror movies. How are you, darling?
I'm fine. I'm so happy to see you, Skippy.
I haven't seen you in a long time.
5 years. I was out of town taking care of my mom and dad. They were quite ill. But I missed you, and I thought about you often. I wrote you a little note.
Yes, did you really?
Yeah, but I guess you didn't get it. I don't know.
What's happening and exciting in your life right now?
Well, I'm singing again. I'm making another tape.
Good.
Skippy, I must tell you all, he was the kindest person. At the Comedy Store in the Belly Room, he used to invite me up there to sing and play. I had a marvelous time, and it encouraged me to make these tapes, and a lot of people like them. I feel wonderful.
Tell me about your pictures here. Look at these pictures of Yvette. Do a shot down here, baby. Look at these. Wonderful. Look at this. What was this from? I love this photo.
These are
Look at
portraits.
that. These are portraits.
I had taken when I was about 20.
Uh-huh. Look
This is
at
from
that.
the giant leeches.
This is the leeches, the
Yeah.
giant leeches.
And-
Let's get a good shot of that. How did you say? Look. See, the giant leeches. Voila.
And this one is from the 50-foot woman. Now that's the original. You can see
50-foot
that.
woman. Wow.
The attack of the 50-foot woman.
The attack.
my dear fans who love those two movies have brought me back from the grave.
Yvette Vickers, never from the grave. You're always doing quite well. How about a book, Yvette?
I started it, and then I got sort of stalled. You know how that goes?
Yeah.
A little bit blocked.
I got to run out of here, but boy, you look great. I want to get you.
Thank you, sweetie. So do you.
Autograph.
Say to you.
Okay? Love you, darling.
I love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Here I am, Jane Keane. How are you, sweetheart?
Well, I'm just grand.
And guess who I just spoke to? One of your lady friends who is in Atlanta, and Honey Merrill.
Oh, did you?
Little Honey Merrill.
What's she doing in Atlanta?
Well, she's going to move back to New York with her daughter.
But she tried living in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Funny, I was just there.
Were you really? That's right. You did a show
The
there.
University of Georgia.
Oh,
I
my.
just got back Wednesday.
What were you doing? Which show?
Sabrina Fair.
Oh, great show.
Yeah,
Great.
it was fun. A beautiful college. It's an hour away from Atlanta.
I wonder if
I
she
went
saw
into
it.
Atlanta.
She
No,
advertised?
no, probably not. No. Gosh, I
Jane
wish
Keane,
I'd known
tell
she
me,
was there.
growing up in the business, you and your sister, and come on, I mean, show business today. What do you think? What's happening?
Well, there's no more vaudeville and there are no more nightclubs.
I mean, when I see a movie called The Stripper with this Jenny Moore getting $7-8 million, I am just out of my mind to see films like that.
I know.
And people like Betty Davis getting $200,000 for a movie.
I know.
The most.
Clark Gable at his height only made $5,000 a week.
$5,000 a week. Could you imagine what is
can't.
happening to our?
Well, it's when they say it's the economy, my God.
No, it's not. It's the pits of the young people presenting things.
It's
Jane Keane,
it's
tell
a
me.
price of fame.
Working with Jackie Gleason and all those great shows.
Well,
Tell me about it.
Well, that was something that could never happen again. I mean, I'm so spoiled whenever I do a TV show, because we played like it was a Broadway show with an audience and wonderful material. To me, there's one show comparable, and that's I like Frasier too, but Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
I love
Frasier and Seinfeld are the best.
Yes, I think so. Well, you've got four great people.
Right.
And just like
But
that.
do you think that Jackie Gleason show gave the writers ideas for that show? Don't you think?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Definitely. All in the Family was certainly a spin-off of that.
Right.
Archie Bunker was Ralph Cramden, but going a little further as far as the language is concerned. Because, see, Jackie was very puritanical when it came to saying an obscene word. Yes. He was. He wanted his ladies, the gals that he went with, like Honey Merrill, who you mentioned before.
He didn't
very
marry
refined.
her, though. He was with her for all his years.
Well, she
and
walked
when
out,
she dropped him,
Yes, she did.
he married that
Beverly McKittrick.
Yeah,
Beverly
he married her
McKittrick briefly.
immediately, yeah.
Briefly. Well, he wanted to show Honey that if she'd stuck in there, he would have married her.
That's
But how long could she stick around?
Yeah.
She was with him for 14 years.
Jane Keane, you look absolutely wonderful.
Aren't
and
you
people are
sweet?
here seeing and getting autographs. How about a book, Jane Keane?
Well, that's me.
Is it really?
Yes. Well, my nightclub act
When you do
a few years ago.
Look at that.
Quite a few years ago. Down memory lane, we call it.
Well, we're down memory lane here now.
I know.
Isn't it
This is
wonderful to see
my first experience here, and I'm
Everybody's
having.
here. John Agar, they're all here, and Margaret. Margaret O'Brien.
Right? Is she? Well, you tell me,
darling.
because I never get past this
Fran
aisle.
Jeffries. Oh, they're all here. It's
that
just charming.
fun?
Marsha Hunt. They're all here. Anyway, my
Yes.
darling, I'll let you go.
Good to see you, darling.
Thank you for coming to my birthday party.
Oh, that was fun. That was the best birthday cake I ever had.
Thank you, darling.
Wasn't that good?
I didn't taste it.
Oh.
I got either.
2 pieces.
Let's see. Okay, I want to get that picture in the back, would you? Okay, we got it now. Here we go. Lee Benton. Here I'm sitting with Lee Benton. Hi, Lee.
Yes.
How are you?
Hi, just terrific.
You look wonderful, Lee.
Thank you.
Look absolutely great.
Thank you.
What's happening with Lee Benton right now?
Well, I've been recovering from a very bad accident and just now getting back into motion. So I have a TV show that's going to be coming up real soon to be announced. and ready for film work. I've been approached to do some cabaret shows. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do that.
I'm looking right at you. Very little makeup here. Lee Benton
Oh,
has
I know, I didn't
very
get my
little
makeup
makeup.
on.
And what is your secret? You're so beautiful. It's still beautiful.
That deserves a
No,
hug.
darling. You're lovely as ever.
Thank you.
Tell me, Mickey Spillane. Tell me about Mickey Spillane. Have you met him at all?
Yes, he's a big teddy bear. He's one of the nicest fellows in the world.
Right.
Mickey Spillane and Stacy Keach.
Right.
Jewels to work for.
I love Stacy. Yes, he's
Wonderful.
Yes. Lee Benton as Jenny in that show. Tell me, did you enjoy doing it?
I loved it. I loved it. It was a fun role because I usually play a lot of the villains, the vixens, you know, the bad one, the bad seed. And Jenny was a real loving, good-hearted person that was
Lee
nice.
Benton is on television constantly with the fitness. Tell us about
Yes.
the fitness and all this fitness on television. What are you doing? Tell me about that.
Well, I just got approached to do some more muscle magazines because that used to be my thing back in the 80s. I used to train a lot and do all these magazine covers. And since the accident, I haven't been able to hardly wiggle my finger. You know what I'm saying? But now the doctor gave me an okay, and I'm going to start pumping again. And I just got approached by Iron Man. They want me to do a cover. They just came up 2 minutes before you interviewed, so I'm going to start doing some more muscle magazines, and you'll see me a lot.
Look around you. You have a lot of fans here, Lee. I mean, a lot of fans.
I'm blessed.
Yes.
I am blessed. And you asked my secret?
Yes, what is it?
Why I'm looking younger?
Yeah.
It's not plastic surgery.
No, it isn't.
Thank you, God. I pray a lot.
You pray, eat the right foods too?
I'm a vegetarian.
Ah, that's it.
So I follow a very strict diet. No red meat. In fact, no meat whatsoever.
Look at the body. I like to stand up and see this great body.
You stand up with me.
Okay, look at this body. This is Lee Benton. She'll never drown, will she? I mean, she'll float for days. I love you, darling. You're wonderful.
You're too funny.
Thank you, Lee.
I love you. God bless you.
Wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you.
Stay well, darling.
Thanks for watching my camera.
Okay, dear.
Bye-bye.
I know. Ted Lang, how are you?
Fine, how are you,
You
Skip?
look wonderful.
Thank you, so do you. But what do I know?
Tell me
Well, no.
about, what do you mean you don't know? Tell me about the captain. You're working on that crazy ship. Tell me about that.
Gavin McLeod?
Yeah, I love him.
Oh, yeah, he's a wonderful guy. You know, Bernie's right over here, too.
Oh, great. We'll say hello to him.
Please say hello to him.
I will, but boy, I wanted to always interview you, and I can never get you. I've called your PR people, your agent, and they're always busy. But
You have to call me, Skip. Don't listen to those
I want
guys.
that immediately.
Yes, yes.
But anyway, getting back, what's happening and exciting right now in your life?
Well, I've written a play called Soul Survivor, which is a 3-character comedy.
Right.
And I'm doing it end of July, beginning of August in Atlanta during the Olympics.
Right.
At the Martin Luther King Center in Atlanta.
Great.
Yes.
What's it about?
It's about a guy who's trying to sell his soul to the devil, but he can't get a good deal.
I think we all been through that, actually.
Well, if you live in
That's a good
Hollywood,
idea.
if you live in Hollywood, it's not really that far.
That is an interesting
Yeah, it's
script.
fun.
I like that.
Yeah.
Where's Ted Lang from, actually?
I'm from Oakland, California.
Are you really? How did you get that role in that
In Love
TV?
Boat?
Yeah, in Love Boat. How did
Well,
you?
now here's the deal, Skip. See, I did this show, That's My Mama. See that?
Uh-huh.
I did that.
I remember that. You were very campy. I thought I was the camp. I wanted that role, but I was the wrong color, honey. You know,
Very campy, though.
I remember that role at all. And I saw it and I said, that bitch took my part. I said, that bitch took my part.
Well, you should have told me I would have given it up. But I did that for ABC.
Uh-huh.
And when Love Boat came around, the television executives knew my work from this show.
Uh-huh.
So they were auditioning all these people. They had to audition Bernie Coppell.
Bernie Coppell's over there. Bernie.
Bernie, and it's a
I
sore
want to
point
say
with-
hello to you.
It's
with
a-
these, okay, come
It's a
now.
sore point with Bernie
How are you,
Coppell to this
Okay.
day.
Wonderful, sweet. No, that's Bernie Coppell. How you doing, Bernie? We'll say hello in a minute. But
Yes.
this is
So
an
Bernie had to audition.